Bruh, you touching this light.
Howdy everyone, this is Jordan again, and welcome back to another video. Today, I will be tackling a spider cat. Not a spider cat, but a Spider-Man cat. Where the cat is Spider-Man, I assume. I don't know much about this character, but I know that one of my coworkers saw this character and he was really interested and wanted it for his birthday. However, I didn't get it in time for his birthday, so I had to give it to him later. But this is that recording session that I did, painting, so I hope you guys enjoy. You can skip to about the 13-minute mark, 13 minutes and 43 seconds or something, and you'll be able to watch the full reveal and the actual reaction if you just want to skip over to there. So there's that. So as you saw, there's a list that he has given me. The paper is wrinkled because of the fact that I dropped it on the floor and it got rained on. My wife picked it up the next morning and said, "Hey, I think this is yours." And it was. So, the spider cat, he wanted to have gray back with black lines, white body, white paws, tip of the tail's white, and a classic Spider-Man mask. This will be my first time using an airbrush for the majority of the painting, and also this will be the first time of me using an airbrush, painting a cat or an animal with fur, period. So this was kind of tricky and I didn't quite understand how to do it. I was looking up reference photos and I finally got to just say, what the heck, let's just try it. So my plan going into this, as you can see, was just to lightly spray some black over it. And what I mean lightly, I mean really light. If I pull too hard, yeah, it'll do that. Much worse though. So I'm trying to get a little bit control. So as you see on my hand, I'll try to make a little crescent. Really light. You can barely see it, but yeah. So that's what I've been trying to do for this model so far. I don't think I'm that bad. Could be better. And I'm sure somebody has a better alternative on how to do this. But for me, I was just winging it and trying to really learn by trial and error. I'm sure he'll like it anyways. There was a point in the video, like right here, and a little bit after, but I didn't put it on camera because I got really frustrated and I didn't want you guys to see my frustration. But a little black spot, I pulled a little bit too hard and it just created a black spot on the back. I had to figure out how to address it. Oh, actually you can see it right there. I just glazed right over it. But after finishing the first time passing, I just went ahead and kind of went back and forth while pulling the trigger back, just so that I can get kind of unevenness, because it looked too zebra in my opinion. And as you see, that's my reaction.
Alright, that's it for the fur. Hope I did well, and if you don't...
Also, don't forget about the ears. I almost did. And so far we have...
Let me go in with this scar.
Yeah, I showed you colors, but I forgot to record the first part. So here's the second part of me painting the mask. It still is very satisfying. And at this point I wasn't feeling very bad about how it looked. I was really glad how it's turning out. You know, this red part of this model really brings it all together. Makes me think, oh, I can see it now. Like I can see the cat. I can see the spider cat look, you know? And the way it goes on is just so satisfying, in my opinion. For those that are just very satisfied with watching videos of painting, even when it's walls, somebody painting walls, it's always just satisfying to watch. Am I the only one? I know I'm not. And I'm sorry for the camera going back and forth. I'm still trying to figure out how to really detail it, hone in on my filming skills. As you see, you can't forget about the paws, even though it's at the bottom. Still want to take good care of them, pay attention, not skimp out. And interesting enough, the scientific term of these little things on the bottom, or their paws, like each one of them, I actually learned this from my wife and her little sister. It's called toe beans. I went back over it though with I don't know what color I would describe this, but I think it looks better if it's not just straight pink. So I kind of make it look like a peach, I guess. And I thought it looked a lot better. Now this part may be 10 to 15 seconds, but it took me about 2 minutes to figure out, how am I going to paint that tongue? I didn't think it was too bad. You know, time to get it a little nose wipe. Yeah, that looks good. What do you think? Hope you guys like it. For this part of the painting, I like to do the little brush strokes to signify how hair comes out of actual cat's ears. So it may not be totally filled in, and I'm glad for that because it creates that illusion that there's still hair, or there's like a little bit of brush strokes. Hair follicles, if you know what I'm trying to say. Throughout the process of painting this mask, the eyeliner, I guess you would say, I usually go in at a brush stroke, kind of like this, and then I decide to fill it all in. I think I do the brush stroke thing back and forth until I can pick up to see if it's the right consistency, and then I commit. Don't worry, I actually take care of the imperfections later on. I like how crisp the black is on this part. I think it really stands out. I know it's just black, but with how the black / gray is painted on the back of the cat, this kind of gives it a different color black. Like this is that Spider-Man eye black. Look at that. We're halfway there for the Spider-Man cat mask. And now it's time to do the lining part. So for the lining part, I actually used, this is a metallic color. I don't really care what type of metallic that I use for this part because it doesn't matter. What really matters is this bottle that I'm struggling with opening, and it's a black ink. Be careful not to add too much black. But you just need a little bit like that. Goes a long way. So after a few mixing, it was time to put it on the actual cat. Webbing, that's what it's called. Time to put on the webbing. I was going for the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire webbing because I like the metallic look of it. It looks really cool. It pops and it gives it texture. You can see it, how the arm might be placed or how the position of a person, how the position of Spider-Man was in that movie. You can really see the webbing, and it wasn't just like a little line or just a fabric line. That's what I'm going up for here. Yeah, I think this was my favorite part of the entire thing. The lines just really pull the whole Spider-Man part together. And I like how it shines just a little bit. When you look into it from a far distance, you may not see it, but in the right lighting, in the right placement in the room, you can see it. And some people might pick up that it is from Tobey Maguire or Sam Raimi, whichever Spider-Man you want to call him. That one. And I do the same thing that I did with black, just a little bit of brush and then fully commit. I'm learning to enjoy the imperfections because that's what makes you better in the future. You accept that you're not perfect, but you keep trying. And with that, we have this final line going straight down the middle. Why not save the best for last, right? And this is the part that finishes the entire piece. Of course, after this, I varnished it. Not too satin, but not gloss, and also not matte. So I hope you guys enjoy this as I show you the shots. Thank you for watching thus far. Enjoy the rest. And there will be a reaction after this. Overall, I'm very satisfied for how it looks. I'm satisfied for me tackling something like this because when he asked me to paint it after I printed it for him, he wanted to paint it, but he asked me to paint it. I was very nervous because I've never done fur at such a large size. I did small miniatures, you know? But I was very glad for how it turned out, and I hope he likes it. Let's see what he says.
No, I'm in line.
You're in line?
Dude, I'm telling you. Ah, thank you. That's dope. I like it.
Glad you like it.
I like it. I thought it was gonna be orange.
No, dude. You know what's crazy? I have your paper still that you put it.
What paper?
The paper that you wrote down for the list. You said I want it to be a white chest, gray back, black stripes.
I like this. It reminds me of my cat. Yeah, I like this a lot.
I think this.
I like it a lot. This is what I wanted. I thought it was gonna be bigger.